Welcome to Dominion Ministries. I'm Ben. So glad that you would join me. Would ask that you would subscribe to the YouTube channel, like and share these videos. Also click the notification button. And I just thank you for watching these. I hope that they're being a blessing to you. In Luke chapter 12, Jesus gives the parable about the servants being ready. And he says, the master will reward the servants who are ready when he comes. In Matthew 24, Jesus gives a similar thing in talking about, a master goes away, puts a servant in charge of managing everything and, taking care of the other servants. And that when he returns, he needs to find him faithful. And then he goes on to warn, but what if that servant, my master's going to be gone for a long time, and he starts to act the fool and getting drunk and beating the other servants and just being mean. And when the master comes back, he's going to find him. And in fact, Luke 13 says he will cut him in pieces. And so that's pretty strong language. Jesus is coming again. We know Jesus is coming again. He's coming soon. His reward is with him. And there is a thing about being ready. Christ could come back at any time for us. The rapture could happen. Jesus could come back. And when he does, what is he going to find you doing? It's not that, you're playing mini golf with your wife or some friends, or, you taking a walk through the woods, or, you're playing video games or something. That's not the issue, right? Recreation is fine, but it's that attitude of readiness, that attitude of faithfulness. Because he's comparing and contrasting the attitude. My master's going to be gone for a long time, when he comes back, and I don't know when that is. I need to make sure everything is in order, because if he came back tomorrow and I'm goofing off, that's going to be a problem. And likewise, if he comes back and finds me faithful, it says the Lord will put them in charge of everything. And so are you living ready? Are you living ready? What does your life look like? Are you, let's start with church. Do you attend a local church every Sunday? Right? It's not that you can't go on vacation, or whatever, but are you faithfully connected to a local church? Are you under the leadership of that local church? There's a difference between just coming and attending church and committing yourself to membership within a church with the blessings and the responsibilities that come with that. Only our church members get to come to the annual business meeting, or when we have special business meetings. And they're the ones who've committed themselves to give to this local church, to serve in this local church, to support the leadership within the local church. They're the ones that get to speak into those big decisions that we make. We have our board, right? And so when you commit yourself into membership within a local church and you're there every week, it really moves God's heart and opens up greater opportunities for God to bless you and use you. So you committed to a local church, and it's not, one, you need to attend. I don't go with this. There's only a couple of people that I know that I have much understanding about them watching online. I know a couple of shut-ins that watch us online because they physically cannot make it to church. And especially in Minnesota, when it gets to wintertime, it's really hard for some of the elderly to get here. It's just hard for them. And so we have understanding for that. But there's a couple of people that I know that's like, I know you watch online and we communicate and, but it's like, but their heart is to be here if they could, and they want to be here. It's just they physically, the body's just not working. And so, there's grace for that. But, I sat on with our tech guy the other day and I said, let me say something to you. I said, the amount of people that I've talked to that say they watch online, people that, oh, Pastor, I watch online every Sunday. I said, the amount of people that tell me that and the analytics of our live stream don't match. And occasionally on a Sunday morning during worship, I will turn on the church's live stream on my phone and I will see who's actually watching online. And might I say to some of you that you're lying to me. You're lying, and I know it. You know it. Just tell the truth. Pastor, you know what? I've dropped off the earth. I don't even watch online anymore. I'm full of the devil, and I'm living my own way. Well, good for you. Maybe we could change that. But don't lie to me. Don't lie to me. Because the Lord's going to come back, and he's going to catch you, with your pants down. And, you don't want that. Are you attending a local church? Giving, are you faithful to give? The tithe, the 10th, belongs to the Lord. Abraham gave a 10th. Before the law was instituted, he gave tithes. Well before the law was established, Jacob offered the Lord a 10th of everything. If you bless me and bring me back to this place, I will give you a 10th of everything. And Malachi talks about bring the whole tithe. The New Testament, lay up something to bring. Everybody should come and have something to present unto the fellowship and to support the local leadership, church leadership, and to help care for the needs of other people and the operations of the church. They did a food distribution in Acts. They had elders, deacons, and people that served the church, and the workman's worthy of his wages. And so are you faithful to tithe? Because to break the love of money out of your life, tithing is a great start to that. When you give a 10th off the top, a 10th right off the top of everything, you're breaking the love of money off of your life. It breaks. And then when you give special offerings and you give generously to other people that have need, right, that breaks the love of money. So if the Lord came back, is he finding you faithful in church attendance? Is he finding you faithful in your finances, in giving? What about in your conduct? What's your secret life like? What's your secret life like? I was trying to watch this video yesterday, but it wouldn't pull it up because it wanted me to download TikTok, which I despise TikTok with all of my heart, soul, mind, and strength. I have contempt for TikTok. So I downloaded it briefly so I could watch this particular video, and I saw it, no big whoop. And then it pops up to the next video, and there's, the Proverbs, the proverbial immoral woman. And it was just every other freaking video was I was just trying to watch this one innocent little thing on what's with all this nastiness. So I just deleted it. And it's not even worth trying to go there to watch. I've had people, and I've done this many times where had to download TikTok to watch this particular Christian video somebody sends me. Well, then pops up something nasty. So never tell me to watch some TikTok video. Either show it to me yourself and don't show me anything else, or I'm not going to watch it. I do not have time for that. What are you doing with your time and with your secret life, in your real life? Are you living godly? Are the decisions you're making leading you more to the will of God and to becoming more like Christ? Or are you living a life of habitual disobedience, secret sin? I don't have secret sins. I do have things in life that are not everybody's business. There are things that are just between me and my wife that we talk about. right? There are funny little things between the two of us that are nobody else's business. Funny little inside jokes and little love things that we have with one another. Things with my friends. I'm going on vacation, and my brother and sister are going to be there, with their spouses, and my mom's coming too, and my wife and kids. And there is a communication that takes place between me and my siblings that nobody understands what's going on. Like, we talk and someone will just make some little odd, bizarre comment, and we're just on the floor rolling around in laughter. And everybody else is just standing there wondering what's happening. My brother sent me something today that was kind of an inside deal. It had to do with dietary fiber. And oh man, it cracked me up. Anybody else that would have seen it, like, so what? It's some fiber thing you put in your drink. Like, but there's history there. So, like, there's special things between you and other people. But I don't have secret sins. I don't want secret sin in my life. I don't have sin. And if I do find myself sinning in thought, word, or deed, I get it right very quickly. I got very angry a while back and spoke in anger. And I immediately reached out to another pastor friend of mine. I'm like, I spoke in harshness and in anger and in godliness, and I was wrong. And I wanted to confess that to you. I've confessed it to the Lord, but I want to tell him myself to a trusted friend. See, and that's how we break the power of sin in our life, is by just telling the truth to one another. Right? When Paul talks about this, he says, speaking the truth in love and to stop lying to one another, we just got to be real and honest. That's how we break the power of sin in our life, is through honesty. And so blessed is the servant who the master finds faithful when he returns. And if the Lord came back, what would be the assessment of your life? For me, I'm striving to become more like Christ, to fulfill more of my mission, to be a better dad and a better husband, to be faithful at the things God has given me, both in our family, our personal life, on our farm, looking for ways to use that and, use it for finances. We rent out our pole barn in the winter. That brings in sometimes close to $1,000 for us. It's not tons of money, but you know what? It's a heck of a lot more than not doing that, right? Little things, like seeking to be faithful to God in little things, tithing on little things. We don't even think about that. We're to tithe on our increase, and sometimes God increases us and we don't give. We don't give off of it. But I'll seek to, when Christ comes back, I want to be found faithful. Like faithful to my wife, in my thought life, and in my heart, my motivations, faithful in my actions and my words, to my children, to my local church, to my spiritual leadership, to my local church, to the church board here, to the people. Like, I just want to be found faithful before the Lord when he returns. It says he might come in the middle of the night or just before dawn, but whenever he comes, he'll reward the servant or the servants who are ready. Are you ready? Are you ready? If the Lord came back, what would he find you doing? Are you slacking off in your spiritual walk? Are you slacking off in your life, in your finances, in your tithing? Are you slacking off in the kind of movies you watch? Hey, Pastor, you've seen this movie, haven't you? Nope, ain't gonna see it either. I don't have time for it, right? I don't have time for the language. I don't have time for the unnecessary sex scene. I don't have time for the gay agenda being pushed on me. I don't have time for the devil's agenda being pushed on me or my kids. I don't have time for it. I don't want it. Well, one of these days you'll get a revelation of grace, right? And at that, it's not that big of a deal. Like, I was deeply troubled by some other pastors that I know and some of the movies they watch and like the TV shows. I'm like, how do you justify that? Brother, there's grace. Why don't you take the grace message to the extreme and just go, get a subscription to the Playboy channel? You might as well follow that grace all the way through. No, the grace of God teaches us to say no to ungodliness, no to things. Like, there's nothing that I've let go of in my life that I said no to pursue after God that I regret letting go of. Whether it's money, it's time, it's entertainment, it's whatever, it's friendships. I have no regrets in it. Anything that I've sacrificed to pursue after God with all of my heart, I have no regrets about. I had one critic come to me, and it was the same, a couple of people came to me about the same thing. They were upset about something, and it was kind of a minor thing. And they're like, Pastor, we really know that you hear from God. Like, you clearly hear God's voice, and God reveals things to you, blah, 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 blah. But we've got this little thing. But as they were getting there, I stopped them. I said, yeah, and maybe you should ask God why he doesn't want to talk to you. Come on now. I know you hear from God, Pastor, but why doesn't he talk to you? Did you ask yourself that? That's, Pastor, that's kind of harsh. No, people need to be put in their place. They really do. I've had men of God in my life that put me in my place. I served under a senior pastor in this church that I'm pastoring now. He had to put me in my place from time to time. When I was getting too big for my britches or too arrogant, he had to cut me down to size on a number of occasions. And you know what? I'm a better man for it. And we have this false grace mentality with people where we allow them to get away with nonsense. Like, Pastor, I know you hear from God. Yeah. And why doesn't he talk to you? Ask yourself that question before you come and tell me whatever your thing is. Right? Is the master finding you faithful? If he comes back, is he going to find you faithful? And I hope so. If not, now's the time to determine, when Christ comes back, when God comes back, I'm going to be found faithful. I'm not going to be caught with my, hand in the cookie jar. I'm not going to be caught with my pants down. Right? I'm not going to be caught doing, in disobedience. If people always like to take the things that I say and twist them around. Why are you saying that a husband I'm not saying that a husband and wife shouldn't, that's we're commanded to do that. God wrote a whole book on sex, right? He put it in the Bible, smack in the middle, right after. And there's a reason, this would be another thing, there's a reason Proverbs and Ecclesiastes were put in the Bible before Song of Solomon, because we need the wisdom and the warnings and to see the train wreck of a life of Solomon, and glean the wisdom and understanding and the warnings before we ignite the sexual passions in our life. If we run off and get married, we need to learn that restraint. Because I've watched a lot of people over my years destroy their lives through sexual sin. I don't know who that's for today, but if it's for you, stop it. Call me up, send me a message, tell me you're fooling around, you're doing wrong, you're looking at porn or whatever the deal is. I've had people confess some very, very bizarre things to me over the years, and nothing you can tell me is going to be shocking. Tell me the truth. Just be honest about it. We'll pray. You'll be delivered. End of story. And you go on with your life. But the Master's coming back. The Lord Jesus, our Master's coming back. Is he going to find you faithful? If you want to walk in dominion and you want to have true rulership and ownership of things, you need to be a faithful and wise servant.